Hello and welcome to the Out Loud podcast. My name is Jon.
And I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we make Brian use the word moist in a sentence.
Well, we did discover that moisture was a word yesterday.
Brian.
And it was even more, it sounds even worse.
I know. So. Brian is moister than the moistest moistellet.
Oh, God. No.
Moistly, roll that intro music.
Open up your mind. Tell me where you want to be.
Brian, May 22nd. What does that represent? Do you know? Well, that's the last time that we had a podcast.
Oh, and that's what I was just about to say.
Yes.
Like, we haven't done a podcast in a while.
May 22nd. Yep.
And then I'm like, not that I don't know what a podcast is, because I love listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, well, why are we filming it then?
Because then we put it up as a video.
I know.
So people can see us. Because people want to see us and hear us. I'm shocked too.
I don't
but
know if they want to do
either.
They do.
But we have a really fun episode today because I think we're going to talk about some jobs, right? We're going to talk about
J-O-B.
Yes.
Not the jobs that you guys are probably thinking of. Keep your mind out of the gutter.
And it's not going to be like a boring job episode. We're going to share like our favorite jobs, our least favorite jobs.
Just jobs that we've had throughout our career.
Yes. And
all two of them.
But like, whoa, shade so early in the episode. Gosh. But no, what is inspiring this episode, Brian? Why are we talking about jobs?
Because Jon just started his brand new job.
I did?
This week.
So I'm a physician assistant in an emergency department here in Providence, one of the local EDs. So far 2 shifts in.
Yeah.
And I'm still here, and so I think are all my patients too. So,
that's a good thing.
That's good. That's good, and I'm having a good time. And it's overwhelming, I think, But
any job, and let's just state that any job is overwhelming when you first start. I think It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it or whatever. I think a new job is very stressful. Not to say that it's not fun and you're excited and everything, but it can be stressful.
Well, the thing about the ED is tensions are already kind of high, and so when you add in that newness and that level of anxiety, it kind of jumps it up a little bit more. But we're getting our wings underneath us, and Brian's holding it down. He works from home here. He misses me at home. I know he does.
In my job, one of the things is we say 2 different things. Like, we're not curing cancer and we're not saving lives, but Jon actually is. So it's a little different for me to say that, because for what I do, it's fun, it's great, but we can't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
That there are other important things.
But you're a creative dude, and I think we're going to talk about some of that and more of your history of how your jobs and the crazy stuff.
Writing things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how many friggin' jobs did I have?
Seriously, how many jobs? Just more than 50 in your life?
No.
I'm curious.
No.
I don't know.
I stay at jobs for.
Well, how old are you again? That's that's a lot of jobs. Yeah. And then we're also going to talk about the whole coming out process at work. New coworkers.
It's so fun to do.
Yeah.
We're the only species that actually has to come out to say who we like to be with.
Yeah, I've kind of mastered it now, I think. Meeting new people, new
all
coworkers
do
and
is
stuff.
Look at you. Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
All right. What about your first job? What was your first job?
My very, very first job.
Yeah.
Was a newspaper boy.
Whoa! Classic.
Yep, and it was my brother's route, and when my brother decided not to do it anymore, I took over his paper route, and I'll tell you. I had 53 houses that I had to deliver papers to.
The noble paper man.
And now they don't. Well, I don't know. You always see in the movies the kids.
Did you throw it?
No, we had to bring it right to the door and put it inside the door.
Who would want it thrown, honestly?
No, I mean you can't in New England just because it's either raining, it's snowing. You can't.
And what'd you do? You take your bike around and you had a cool little bike, or what?
No, I'd walk.
Oh.
I'd walk because it was too heavy. You couldn't carry the newspaper, but you had the big bag with the what messenger bags used to be.
Oh, I see it. I can see it.
The worst were the Sunday papers, because I'd have to do it in shifts and bring my
'Cause they were
wagon
that heavy.
because they were that heavy.
Any dog incidents?
No, not really. No, not, there were people that didn't pay. Like,
Oh, didn't pay for the paper.
you have to collect. I'm collecting, so you'd collect on Thursday and Friday because you had to pay the man on Saturday morning, and then he'd be like, "You owe 40, and you had 60, so I made $20 because you'd get a tip."
Nice.
Like that was the thing. Like here,
Tip the paper man.
tip the paper boy.
Sweet.
So
Well, mine wasn't as classic as yours, but I actually have two because I don't remember. Well, one was a part-time job, and then I had a full-time job later that I know was my first job. But my definite first part-time job was at a cashier at a gas station. And it was kind of like a safer gas station. You know, you kind of think of like, getting stick up, like a robbery at a gas station. But this was kind of like in a kind of police patrolled area. So I felt safe doing it. And that job was, I absolutely hated that job.
Oh, see,
Absolutely
and it's funny.
hated
Like
the job.
when we talked about what we were going to talk about, it's like jobs you hate. And I was trying to think. I'm like, I really have never had the only job that I hated, and it was probably right around the paperboy, is I used to kind of I lived up one block up from like this really nice ball field and recreational area, and I used to be part of like the grounds crew, and like, but basically all I'd be doing is raking leaves all day, and I hated it. That's the only job I can say like I.
Well, I didn't like
that
this.
much.
I didn't like this one because my manager, Lynn, who was the owner's wife.
So
there's a little something there, Lynn. Well, she's the one that coined, "You got time to lean, you got time to clean." And I'm a hard worker. That's all I'm saying. And
She
like
coined that. That's been the restaurant business
well,
forever.
she's the first person that I heard say that, and therefore she made it for me. But she was also the one who made us use expired milk for the coffee stand out there. Yeah, like it would.
Make
Okay,
sure I don't go there.
it would
for my
expire
coffee.
that day.
Right.
Like, so that was the day. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, Lynn. And then my other first full-time job was maintenance at my high school. And I learned a lot of cool stuff like painting and like spackling and
So
little
why
carpentry.
don't you do any of that here?
Again with the shade.
Yeah.
It's going to be consistent. So what was your worst job?
No, I didn't have one.
No, if you could go back and review all of the jobs that you've had.
I'm looking at all of them, and it's like I said, just that
that?
groundskeeper was kind of probably just because obviously you're 12 or 14 years old.
Yeah.
But the first like real job I had, like where I had to go apply, and like I got a paycheck.
Yeah.
Was at Alexander's Supermarket. And if anyone is ancient as I am and grew up in this New England Merrimack Valley area where I grew up, but if you know Market Basket, at the time it was Demoulas's, and that was the big competition.
Oh, Market Basket.
which
so
is our favorite. Alexander's went out of business. Market Basket flourished, and I remember we used to actually play them in softball.
Well, now we love. That's all we go to is Market Basket.
Market Basket. But I loved. I was a bagger.
Okay.
Started at 16, a bagger.
Okay.
Then I was cashier. Then I worked grocery. I worked every department in that store, and I worked there for like 7 years, and like paid for some of my college when I was going to college.
This all makes sense though because you are militant with your bags.
Well, no, I'm militant about,
Yeah.
and I love grocery shopping. He doesn't. I could probably go and spend 2 hours.
I would love going to a farmer's market where you like get to like, kind of eye candy kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
But a grocery store, you're in for a mission. You get what's on your list and you get
I
out.
just love.
Brian likes to
I love doing it.
meander.
I used to do
Oh my
displays. I
gosh.
remember I did a Swiss Miss one for cocoa. Like the representative came in and said, and I ended up like winning like a, I don't know, it was like a $50 gift card.
You were Mr. Swiss Miss.
I was Mr. Swiss Miss. Yes.
Well,
Olé-ee-oh.
the
Sorry.
give me another one, just real quick.
no.
One? Okay,
You got-
we'll
you
wait
got
to the
one.
end.
You got one,
Wait to the
yes.
end.
I'll
Okay,
sign
all right,
off with it.
cool. No, the cashier at a gas station. Actually, wasn't my worst job though. The one that I didn't like the most would be a server at a restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
I won't say which restaurant, but like. But the thing is, I've worked as a server and caterer in the past, but this one restaurant that I worked at didn't like it.
yeah, see,
Oh man.
See, I loved that.
Well,
that was like when I decided, I was like, initially when I was younger and said, I'm not going to college at the age of 18 or 19. And I did these other jobs until I went back to school. And
look at you.
And
Rebel.
I told you this. There was this one restaurant in Lowell, Massachusetts. It's going to be a brand new restaurant called Oliver's. Nice kind of, and I want to say semi-formal, like we wore tuxes as waiters.
Okay.
But they trained, I remember it was like a month-long training every single night because I was working at the store still.
Like server as a career, like.
Well, I wasn't thinking of it as a career. And they taught us everything about how to serve, how to clear, different, like we did Caesar salads, table side and things. And it was just all this stuff that
practical stuff.
Till this day, I still use that. And I thought it was like the best training I've had. And I loved waiting on tables.
You did?
I mean, you do, because you're like, there's plenty of stories you can tell. And like,
I can see you being.
I remember dropping a steak coming out of the kitchen, and like you kind of go to this kind of bar area first, and I dropped the steak, picked it back up, put it on the plate, brought it in. I said, "Here, just grill off the like fuzz from the." There are stories, but I'll tell you, at this restaurant, learned to wait on tables. I learned to cook. I learned to bartend. I learned about wine, and
that value's carried over, like later in life,
right?
And I think so.
And I think, and you will agree with me on this. Everyone should wait on tables at one point in their life.
Totally, 100% agree.
And if your date does not treat a server well, dump them.
That is very telling.
Dump them.
We saw that when we were in Sitges. We saw this dude treating a server terribly, and I was this close from going up to the table. Anyway,
because first off, I remember making minimum.
It's hard enough to
and
be
you're
a
making
server.
Minimum wage
You
for
rely-
a server, not minimum wage as a regular. So I remember when I was doing it, I was making like $2.01 an hour. Plus tips.
Yeah.
So
you have to rely on your tips.
But I loved the whole like entertainment. Well, what is it? Not entertainment industry.
Serving hospitality
Sorry,
industry.
Loved it.
Sure.
Loved all of that. Worked in did the.
Hold on. I bet you as a server you were a good upseller.
I didn't like to sell.
No.
Nope. Don't like to do that.
Not even with dessert.
Nope.
You're a dessert guy.
Nope. Don't like to sell people.
Oh, miss, you look.
I would be like, "Hey, we have this great dessert," but I'm not like, "Oh, would you like to?"
This decadent chocolate pie.
Yeah,
you didn't break out your
outloudjb@gmail.com
voice.
I didn't break out the deep voice for it. No. I'll tell you, like the hospitality industry. When I moved into Boston, worked at some fine dinings there, and
That's good.
Bartended the clubs. Bartending the clubs bought me my first house.
That's amazing.
So. And I have friends who are professional waiters and bartenders, and
it's good work. It can be hard work.
It's hard.
Yeah, for sure. So then, what has been your favorite job?
My favorite job, probably when I was at agency, and I say agency when I used to work at Arnold.
I was at the agency.
Arnold Worldwide was my first job as a copywriter, and then from there, went to like senior copywriter, associate creative director, and
worked your way up the ladder.
Loved it. Like that was in the heydays of big budgets and big television shoots. Like, we was some of the. There was the transition over to digital, but for a time we were shooting on film, and I shot all over the world. I had the Royal Caribbean cruise account, so we went everywhere to shoot. So
he's told me stories about his Caribbean cruise, like
but just like even taking a helicopter up to a glacier to go glacial trekking. Like I'd never be able to do that. Like, we shot in South Africa 3 times for ocean spray cranberry juice. Go figure that. So then, of course, you're there, and we do safari on that. And if any of our South African listeners, I love South Africa. I love Cape Town. I would move there in a second.
Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful.
How's the
Loved it.
climate? Wasn't it like hot, hot, hot?
But of course, we were here it was January, so it's flipped because
so
it's
it's-
the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
So in January, it's their summer,
Mm-hmm.
but it never gets cold or snowy. I mean, they have mountains,
Right.
which there was some snow in the mountains. So
Just to do that amount of travel. Yeah.
What was your first like job after you like?
Well, my first like
graduated?
real job is actually, and all of these are real jobs that I had, like the server and the cashier and the
Well, yeah,
maintenance.
That's why I was
but
saying,
like
that
I mean,
sounds-
like the
sounds
first
weird.
like
I
I
said
guess
after school.
career-oriented job
Yeah.
would be as a phlebotomist. I was a phlebotomist for a little over 4 years. I worked as an outpatient and inpatient, and I went around to nursing homes and I drew people's blood. I was the literal vampire. I just had a good group of people. Most of my coworkers were older women. Loved the crap out of them. They'd make cookies or just like whatever for me, and
Of course they
it was
would.
just we went out to like trivia nights at the local
That's
bar. Like we had a good old time.
See,
Definitely had a good
and
old
that's
time.
like going back to that hospitality. That is like a group of friends that, like the bartenders I used to work with at the clubs.
Yeah.
They do become like your family type
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that's in any work though. I mean, the work where I am now, it's like I feel like I got this little family going on.
That's important because you spend so much time with them.
right.
You know.
That's why I say my work husband, my work wife.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
look at you like, what do you mean?
But then I also had this one job in college. It was a work-study job, which means you get like paid through the college to work or something with the college. I was the front desk attendant at the gym, and
Oh.
literally all you did was sat there and you got to
All
study.
you did was what?
You sat there.
All you did was sat there.
Whatever,
you
mister.
did was
This
sit.
is see, he's a writer and
All you
he's
did was sit there. But no,
listen. I just
Like
got to
British
study
people
and I got
say
paid.
Sometimes say that I was sat or something.
Well, just
It's
keep
something.
keep satted over there. I got to get paid while I was studying.
Oh, that's cool.
That was just beautiful for me. And people swiped their cards, and that was it. But I guess another thing we should mention, like, it's kind of cool being a YouTuber too. We're kind of like YouTubers.
Oh, you know the one thing I did. You know the one thing I didn't do, and maybe we could like flash a picture for the video part.
Yeah.
I taught aerobics for 20 years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like many clubs in
Yes.
Boston. I helped run a club up in New Hampshire.
You've gotta
ran the
see-
kids program.
they've gotta see
I
this.
actually had a cable television show with my fitness director, Dawn. She was awesome, and we did like a local cable show for aerobics. It was hilarious. I actually
Someone find that, please.
I've even looked for it.
But
It's
he has shown me pictures of him in his like aerobic, like what is it?
Unitard.
Unitard. Like
yeah,
the,
we had, of course, we had like matching or corresponding ones.
Yes, Daddy.
Like, cause she was beautiful, had like the perfect midriff, and so
Oh
she'd do that, and then I'd be in my little.
I
Unit.
just. Oh.
It was hilarious. We
We
had
need-
so much fun.
Don't you think
We
we
even
need
did
to?
competition, and some of our older listeners, Crystal Light aerobic competitions. I did one of those.
I feel like I know what you mean. It's like
it's all like it's just
it's like saluting almost.
So I forgot about that because that was like one of my most favorite jobs was teaching. I loved doing it,
Yeah.
like playing great music, and at some points I just go freestyle and just everyone like dance or whatever. This was like back in the day. It's not like spinning and Peloton and
Right.
all
Well,
that. This was just like
it's very community.
We would do
Sounds very
like,
community.
and this was like high impact stuff, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Well, we'll be driving somewhere and something will come on the radio. Brian will be like, "I used to dance to this."
I
like,
put this was my end song on my high impact classes.
And then-
like it would be like a Barry Manilow song or Footloose or something.
of course, I paint a picture of this like glistening Brian with a tight
I
fitting.
tell you, and I'll tell you, I
Yes.
was good at it. I loved doing it. I trained other instructors to certify.
Bring it
them.
back.
No.
New YouTube
Oh, with
series.
these knees.
Brian aerobics.
See, now I'm paying for it though. I'm paying for those 2 or 3 classes a day. For
Brian,
like,
you know what
a
else we're
couple
paying
years.
for?
Where are you going?
You know what else we're paying for though? Just like
God.
we still have T-shirts.
we do have a couple t-shirts left.
Figure it out. Because email us if you want a t-shirt. We still have a bunch of t-shirts, and it might be one of the ones that just hit Brian. So, email us outloudjb@gmail.com. Yeah, we did a terrible job at promoting the t-shirts. A bunch of people bought them.
Yeah, we just did like one video. I'm like, oh, here.
We
these
did
t-shirts.
get a lot of people, a lot of support. So thank you
Yeah,
if you bought a
it was great.
t-shirt. But we have a bunch more yet. So,
Well, not a bunch. It looks like there's like 10 over
well,
there
you
or
can wear them to work, and you can
So-
come out at work like that. So.
Yeah, and see that it's a great segue because
Yeah.
that's the other thing.
Coming out at work?
Coming out at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like coming out like, oh, I've been there for 10 years and now I'm going to come out, which is a whole other thing. But I mean, when you start a new job and it's like, oh God, I have to go through this again.
And it's not like it's a huge deal.
No,
I don't know. but
for me, it's
it
like
is
as
just
I get
still-
older now, I'm just like, yeah, my boyfriend. It's like
some
you
people
deal
though,
with it.
Yes, we never know. Some people. I mean,
No, we have a great BRG at Staples.
BRG.
A business research group, and it's called Out at Work. And
Out at
it's
Work.
There, and so we have offices in Canada as well, and obviously stores all over the country.
Okay.
And there is a lot of people in this group. When we have like a Zoom thing, there's
Nice.
like at least 50, 80 people, and they have the rainbow flag flying outside our corporate office.
Oh, perfect.
So it's great. So they're
They
very
care about you,
supportive.
yeah.
Yeah, like probably when I was your age coming out at work.
oh yeah, very.
I
Different.
remember when I had to do it at agency, and I was just like, ugh,
Yeah.
this is so. But it was more because I mean, my friends were there, and
Right.
it wasn't so much a big deal.
Well,
but it's still.
Did I ever tell you how I came out at work? So that phlebotomist job, the way that I actually came out, I had a Pride bumper sticker on my car, and I like put it on one day, like a new bumper sticker, pulled in, and I think it was about a week later, one of my coworkers questioned me about it, and that's how I kind of came out, and I kind of went that way, and that was really the first, I guess, experience for me coming out at work. Yeah. And then moving forward, I don't know. I just got more comfortable with myself, and I think it's just very easy. The key to coming out at work is, I think, is like saying, "Oh, me and my boyfriend went," or
Yeah.
"Oh, me and my partner went." Blah,
Or
blah,
when
blah.
when they ask you, it's like, well, what does your wife or girlfriend think? And then I say, well, my boyfriend doesn't let me have a wife.
No wifes for you.
So then they're like, and sometimes people are like so appalled that they realize they've
I know.
said that and they're embarrassed and
Right.
whatever. And I'm like,
It's
don't
all
worry
right.
about it. Don't worry about it.
You know what happens when you assume.
Because you don't have to come out straight at work. You only have to come out gay at work.
Right.
So straight people have it made. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
We all have issues. Especially you.
This is going somewhere we don't want it to.
This is a whole other podcast we're starting.
And I hope your work has like some mental health line resource line.
They do. They have a
See?
great support for their
Benefits are important. But we're also YouTubers, you
Right.
know? And
That's
part
a
of
fun job.
that's a fun job.
It
'cause
really
doesn't,
is.
It
It
doesn't
really
feel
is.
like a job. We get to just do this and just talk to you.
That's why it's like I get paid to write, and now I get paid to talk. That's
Yeah.
kind of pretty good.
Yeah, you're doing good. And what do you got to talk about? You should probably tell them something. Do
Well,
your job
let's
right.
see.
Jeez.
I'd say we got a very fun and exciting job coming up next September. We are entertaining our listeners in Key West.
Ah.
So we have taken over Alexander's Guest House, which is an
Yep.
absolutely beautiful guest house.
It's like the #1 rated B&B.
And how many
in Key
rooms
West.
are there?
There's 17 total,
17.
but we already have, I think, I don't know, like
Six taken?
6 or 7 taken. So
So
book it while they're going hot.
right. I mean, and everyone's like, well, it's like a year out. Yeah. And then
It is
all
a
of
year out,
sudden
but it's good to
not.
plan.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now it's 10 months because now it's November.
Well, yeah. So that's
So-
why we did it early, and we have a bunch of awesome
Activities
yeah,
planned. We have a
pool party,
booze cruise.
booze cruise.
Well, Sunset Cruise in Key West. And if
he,
you've
go-
never
he goes
done that.
booze cruise.
Right. It's like booze cruise. Like
Where's
pool
the tequila?
Pool party with booze. We have a ghost tour with booze.
With booze. No,
So-
that's
and
like
that,
boo.
and that's not true. And like I should
No,
say, it is true, but we're not like booze bags.
No, we're not. We're like a couple glasses of wine, with dinner type of people.
Yeah.
And it'll be as much or as little partying as you would like there.
Yeah, but we're excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna do like a celebrity bingo.
Oh, it's
He's
gonna
the
be
celebrity.
yeah.
Yes. And so it's
I don't know
great.
how.
So I'm sure he's gonna put some sort of link thing in the description,
Wait, you know how that works?
just in the below,
Whoa.
and you click
Do
on
you even
it.
know how to click
So-
to the description?
I do.
No,
Sometimes.
you don't.
I'm just the talent. Just tell me where to go. That's all I need.
Smile and wave, boys.
Right. That's all they want. So it'll be really fun. We would love to see you guys.
Yeah, there's an Eventbrite link in the description.
Okay.
Please come. Epic Key West Out Loud, September 22 through 25.
Yeah, we'll be doing extra little surprises.
Oh,
during-
like the big thing, the whole reason like Alexander's is even more awesome. You buy 2 nights, you get 1 free.
Oh, right.
Like that's the whole thing
2 nights, 1 free.
with our whole Out Loud thing that we got going on here. Dude, we grew that. We did this. We grew this thing. We watered it. We gave it love and support. And we said, yeah.
I think it's time to go.
Well, then I guess I have to thank Nearly York for the music, the
Yes!
intro and outro for our
I
podcast.
haven't heard that in a while because why?
Because we haven't done a podcast
there
in
you go.
forever.
That's right.
May 22nd. So there's also our Instagram. Go follow us, OutLoudJB. And there's also our email, Brian.
OutLoudJB@gmail.com. That's OutLoudJB@gmail.com.
What's the J? And what's the B? Why didn't we do it BJ?
That's why.
You know why we didn't
That's
do it
why I
BJ.
didn't do that. It's JB.
Thanks so much for watching.
So-
And don't forget to live your lives
Out
out loud.
Bye.
Where you wanna go, girl, I wanna know. Maybe I could take you there, take you there. Well, all I got around me is the snow that you found me, and I could get lost. I could